I'm Cameron Britton.
And I'm Aidan Gallagher.
My name is Robert.
And I'm Emmy.
And we're the cast of the Umbrella Academy.
And we're gonna walk you through everything that happened in season 1.
Everything. Episode 1. We open in Russia on the 7th hour of the first day of October 1989. There's a girl flirting with a guy by the pool.
Yeah.
Suddenly, boom! The girl is screaming in pain. Everyone's horrified.
We have no idea what's going on until we suddenly see that she's given birth.
Ugh.
Which is shocking because she was definitely not pregnant 5 minutes ago.
Turns out this wasn't an isolated incident. 43 women all around the world. Poof! Prego.
This was unusual.
Enter Reggie Hargreaves, an eccentric old billionaire who decides it's time to become a dad.
How much do you want for it? Skolka.
He adopts 7 of these miracle babies and moves them to a mansion and dubs the whole place the Umbrella Academy.
Flash forward 17 years, the kids he adopted, now all grown up, make their way back home to mourn their dad.
And we find out he was less of a father and more of a distant, mean professor.
To start off, there is Luther, number 1. He's super strong and pretty much the leader. Number 2 is Diego. He is a hothead but can throw knives with precision.
There's number 3, Allison, moi,
who can manipulate people
with her own voice.
What a lovely voice it is. Then there's Klaus, number 4. Klaus is high as hell on all the drugs and can talk to the dead. Number 5 has been missing for years.
Number 6 is dead, spoiler, memorialized in statue form outside the mansion. Hargreaves wasn't a great dad, you guys, okay?
Then there's number 7, Vanya. She is the only normal one. Because of that, Hargreaves treated her like an outcast.
All the kids return to their former home, stewarded by a talking chimpanzee, Pogo, and their robot mother.
And at the funeral, tensions are high.
The world's better off without him.
Diego.
Vanya wrote this book about her nightmarish upbringing at the academy that's pushed her even further away from the rest of her siblings. But I mean, how can you blame her?
Normal people, they be tripping. Allison's fresh off a divorce. Diego's living outside the law. Klaus just got out of rehab.
And as high as a kite. I'm not in the right frame of mind.
You're high?
It only gets worse. Hargreaves' iconic monocle was not found after his death. Luther suspects foul play.
Diego thinks it's ridiculous, and then the old rivalry between the two of them begins again in a brawl at their father's funeral, which ends with smashing the statue of their dead brother.
But when it feels like the funeral can't get any more disastrous, this portal opens up and out pops a child. Long lost number 5. Dun dun dun. Apparently even their missing brother reappearing from a time portal isn't enough to keep this family together.
5 goes and gets some coffee, but he ends up getting attacked by a bunch of mysterious soldiers.
Hey, assholes.
We don't know where they're from.
Istanbul, not Constantinople,
Yeah,
now
that was a fun
Istanbul.
scene. He sort of kills them all without mercy.
Diego goes to Brood by the river, and then we find out that he took the monocle just because he's kind of a mean guy, I guess.
I kind of want a monocle.
That would be cool.
While he's doing that, Klaus sits in the back of the car and has a friendly conversation with the ghost of number 6. It looks like the whole gang is back together.
Yay!
Hooray!
Number 5 visits Vanya and tells her why he's back. The world is gonna end in 8 days, and only they can stop it. No pressure.
Episode 2.
Episode dos.
Number 5 explains how he survived an apocalyptic future after accidentally jumping forward in time.
5 doesn't really talk about his mannequin wife. 5 shows Vanya this prosthetic eye that he found in the wreckage of the end of the world. This is the only clue that he has in order to prevent the apocalypse.
With a little help from a desperate for cash Klaus, 5 gets the record for the eye only to find out that it technically hasn't been created yet.
That's a problem.
Meanwhile, police investigate the grisly scene that 5 left at the donut shop where he was attacked.
Leading the investigation is Detective Patch, who seems to have a bit of a thing going on with our old pal Diego. She's not the only one on the case.
2 formally dressed assassins, Hazel and Cha-Cha, arrive from the future.
Yes, they do.
They know 5 because he was kind of better at their job than they were, and now they gotta catch him.
I am not the...
No talking.
Also, Vanya's new student is kind of awkward, but he's a sweet guy in his 30s named Leonard. He also had a pretty mean dad,
That shit on your face.
and the two of them hit it off pretty quick. Seems like this could be good for her. Seems is the operative word there.
Episode 3.
It's Vanya time, y'all.
Hey!
We see her being underappreciated as the 3rd chair in the orchestra that she plays with.
In a flashback, we're shown the rise and fall of her career as an author. She releases her salacious Umbrella Academy memoir.
Oh yes, very juicy.
At first, she's she's showered with praise, but as the fans move on, she's just kind of left with the family she betrayed.
Back at the mansion, Allison and Luther find footage proving that their robot mom Grace was the last person to see their father alive. By the way, Allison and Luther have a thing. Yikes!
They're actually not blood relatives, but we were raised brother and sisters, so.
Go on Twitter, everyone's arguing about it.
Anyway, so Luther and Allison, they speculate that 13 years spent running the house alone might have degraded Mom's AI, causing her to lose her mind and potentially cause Hargreaves' death.
What are you talking about, silly?
They debate turning her off for good.
This infuriates Diego. Hazel and Cha-Cha, having received a crucial tip from a woman at the donut shop, ambush the academy.
I gotta see this show. This is cool.
I know, right?
And there's this massive shootout!
Holy cow.
And Luther is revealed to have the torso of a gorilla, but like a handsome, kind of sexy gorilla. Do you know what I mean?
They manage to fight off the pair of assassins who take Klaus prisoner. After seeing that Mother went the whole firefight without noticing anything was wrong, Diego decides to deactivate her himself.
Grab a Kleenex because it's a big moment.
I love that scene. Episode 4. In a flashback, we see Luther go on a solo mission for his father long after his siblings abandoned the academy. This mission goes terribly and Luther's rushed back on the brink of death where his father saves him by giving him the body of a beast. So that's how that happened.
Back to the present, Vanya and Leonard's relationship is moving fast. Now, this guy's already got the key to her place, and of course, Allison.
Me is suspicious as hell.
Great seeing you.
It's starting to seem like Leonard's goals might be a little more nefarious than they seem.
Meanwhile, Klaus is being tortured by Hazel and Cha-Cha unsuccessfully.
And they're interrupted by Detective Patch, who followed their trail of destruction.
She tries to arrest them, but is killed.
The confusion allows Klaus to escape into the streets with their time-traveling device, this sort of briefcase thing.
Which he accidentally activates, sending him into the past. Diego finds Patch's body in the hotel room and mourns. Needless to say, he is having a rough week.
Moving along, episode 5. Klaus returns from the past and he's haunted by lost love and his time in Vietnam and resolves to get sober. Diego is still mourning Patch, but with the help of 5, they set up a trap for Hazel and Cha-Cha under the guise of an exchange for their time travel device.
How is he doing here?
Once again, this turns into a fight, but time stops briefly as 5 encounters the Handler, the leader of this time adjustment corporation.
She offers him a promotion in exchange for his siblings' life, and well, he takes it.
Episode 6. 5 tries to use his new position to further his goal of preventing the apocalypse. He finds himself halted by bureaucracy at every turn.
Glad to hear it.
Eventually, he turns on the company, blowing up their equipment after stealing one last time travel device for himself.
While this happens, everyone has a nearly perfect day. 5 gets sober with Diego's help. Luther and Allison go on a date, but unfortunately that's all erased when 5 comes back through time with news.
I know who's responsible for the apocalypse.
Harold Jenkins?
Episode 7.
Vanya's boyfriend, Leonard, is a key player in the apocalypse.
His real name is Harold Jenkins.
What?
Harold Jenkins!
He grew up idolizing the Umbrella Academy before being humiliated by Hargreaves. And after murdering his own abusive father and spending 12 years in prison, Leonard is released with one goal in mind: revenge.
Meanwhile, Vanya finds out that she is not as normal as she thought. Her anger unleashes this deep power inside of her. She's absolutely brimming with rage. She's just...
She can't,
Oh, yes.
basically.
She can't
Episode
right
7, Vanya can't.
Episode 8. Vanya reacts poorly, to say the least. When Allison tries to confront her about being manipulated by Leonard, she interrogates her further and finds out that Allison was coaxed by Hargreaves into using her powers to convince Vanya she didn't have any powers at all. Vanya throws a fit and cuts Allison's throat.
Episode 9.
Seeing that their sister has gone beyond the pale, the siblings meet at the academy to discuss their options.
Unbeknownst to everyone, Klaus has been talking to the ghost of their dead brother, number 6.
Done listening to you.
Vanya returns to Leonard, but finds his journal and realizes she's been manipulated by him as well as her family.
You've been manipulating me?
And with no one left to turn to, Vanya kills him too.
Upset and confused, Vanya tries to beg for forgiveness at the academy, but instead they imprison her in this sort of isolation chamber which holds for about an hour.
With her rage renewed, Vanya breaks free, destroys the academy, kills Pogo, who's the closest thing to a positive father figure that the family ever had.
Yeah.
Episode
Episode 10.
10.
Monkey Dad's dead. Vanya's fully insane. She prepares to use her powers to cause mass destruction.
Setting off the apocalypse that 5 came back to prevent.
Vanya destroys the academy before the apocalypse.
The siblings rush to try to stop her, but debate whether they should kill her or not. Meanwhile,
This time bureau that keeps the timeline intact is hell-bent on making sure we don't change it.
they send a small army of soldiers to stop the siblings from stopping Vanya.
Klaus channels number 6's powers and repels the enemy soldiers.
Vanya's disarmed by Allison. She collapses and her power discharges in an energy beam that fires at the moon. Heck of a shot.
That beam causes the moon to break into little pieces, and those come crashing towards the Earth, ushering in the apocalypse.
Guys?
In a last-ditch effort to save everyone, 5 gathers up all the siblings
Gotta trust me on this.
and sends them back to the past, into their childhood bodies, to try one more time to save the world.
Now that you are all up to speed, thanks for watching.
Stay tuned for season 2
Please.
of The Umbrella Academy coming.
Soon. I've traveled to the future, that's how I know.
He's really 5.
Bye!